trying. I'm, I'm trying to talk to people. Will you let me talk to people? Stop biting. Oh, it's impossible. So the main point of this video is to understand perspective. It's becoming clear to me that a lot of people are finding it difficult to put New Age beliefs into context with earlier tribal ways of thinking. The indigenous, these words I use, indigenous, tribal, ancient, they're all causing a little bit of confusion in terms of how people are processing what I mean when I say they vary. There is a difference between earlier ways of thinking and more modern ways of thinking. For instance, everybody knows what a Native American tribe in its original way of being would be all about, as opposed to, let's say, a mind, body, spirit festival. The two are absolutely worlds apart. But what about the psychology behind these two ways of thinking? This is the sort of thing I'm talking about. I'm talking about a civilized, colonized, corrupted way of seeing earlier tribal people, and also how we are seeing and understanding spirituality. I think the main element that separates these two ways of thinking is power and greed, and also, dare I say, arrogance. There is an awful lot of barefaced arrogance prevalent in the New Age industry. I'll give you an example. There is a lot of talk about healing Earth, well, healing everything really, but particularly healing Earth. Now this is a tricky one, because Earth, natural law, the mountains, the rivers, the streams, the fields, the hedgerows, everything that grows is doing so in the same way it's been doing for thousands and thousands of years. It's humans who come along and corrupt that system, or try to. Earth fights back. You get a whole road of concrete and there's a crack, and a little shoot will come up within that crack. So the Earth Spirit, is aiming always to carry on as she's always been doing. Now along comes a human being who believes they have healing power, and they say, wait a minute, let's roll my sleeves up. I can help the Earth because the Earth is suffering. It's got concrete all over the field. It is being concreted over. There are lots of things. We've got buildings, we've got streets, we've got airports, bus stations, train terminals. We've got all sorts of things that have covered the Earth. And this extends, this idea of building over the Earth extends to the way people think. If we have the power to build upon the Earth and change the face of the Earth, then we also have the power to believe that we are the ones who can help Earth and who can destroy Earth. Except we don't want to see that bit. We don't want to see that we're actually destroying Earth. So along comes this healer who's got this mindset, this same mindset, that a human is more powerful than Earth. So they roll their sleeves up and they toddle off to the nearest river, and they believe that by tossing in a few flower remedies or a bit of this or a bit of that or doing a magic spell will help the water to flow better. They can help it where it's toxic. Stop. Let's just stop here. It's the same kind of arrogance that's behind the building program we've had through hundreds of years on Earth. The same kind of belief that a human can put something right. I can make my little contribution. Well, you're not making a contribution. The person you need to look at is yourself. You need to go and look in the mirror and heal that person that you're looking at, not the water. Now, if you want to help the water, if you want to help Earth, go down to grassroots. Join anti-fracking campaigns. Write to councils. Do something practical. Don't take your little remedies off to the water and throw it in and think you're doing something. That's sheer, absolute arrogance. Who are you to think that you're more powerful than that water that's doing her best to try and flow? And I know she's having trouble. But we've got to get this in perspective. And this is what I mean by New Age thinking and tribal thinking. I think we are being a little bit airy-fairy with a lot of the way we believe we are healers. There is no such thing as a human being able to heal the earth. It's laughable. It's laughable. All we've got to do is to be a guardian, stand by Earth, help Earth where we can, but forget the healing. Forget this, I'm going to do something that's going to make this river run fast again, make this river flow wonderfully again. I'm getting very cynical about this because, quite frankly, I'm tired of seeing all this. Do you think that I go out and look at the river and think, oh well, the river needs a bit of healing, I'll do a few magic spells to help her? I wouldn't have the nerve. I would not have the nerve. What I would prefer to do is to take myself to the river and apologise on behalf of all the people who are ruining the rivers, who are ruining water for all life on Earth, not just for humans. And then if I wanted to take that further, then I would source an organisation or people, a resistance organisation that is actually doing something on the ground level, tackling the corporate organisations who are polluting the rivers, tackling something that is actually doing the harm. We can't do it further down the line when it's all in a mess and think that we can put it right. We can't. It's not going to happen. Never in a million years will this happen. We can feel for Earth, we can identify with natural law, trying its best to grow up through the concrete cracks, and let's just start to separate out these different ways of thinking, the tribal way of thinking as opposed to the New Age belief system. It's been imposed upon us so that it can generate a whole industry where we're going to buy into all the things that we think bring us healing, and they actually don't. We've got to do something on a more structured level, and my job, I feel, is to help people understand the way they can change their thinking psychologically. This is what we need to do. Let's just get down to business. Let's roll our sleeves up and do that. Come to my workshops, come and discuss these things. Let's have great discussions about it. And let's fly this flag for making changes in this world. And reintroducing a more ancient way of thinking. That is what will connect you with your ancestors. That is what will connect you to the natural world. Have a think about this. Talk again later.